Roadside attractions were very popular in the 1940s and 1950s. Whenever you'd step inside of one, you might see two-headed taxidermy like we have in the corner. Or maybe even Clementine, our adorable five-legged cow. Look at that face. One of my favorites is actually right behind you. That is the spider fawn, born with 2 heads and 6 legs. And of course, nothing quite like a circus bear ties the room together. Now, a lot of people always ask me what's so special about the bear. I mean, 2 arms, 2 legs, 1 head. How boring, am I right? Well, can either one of y'all ride a unicycle?
That's right.
I rest my case. Thank you for the pity laugh on my dad joke. All of these animals were born this way. That makes them a little different from sideshow gaffs. A sideshow gaff is made of real animal parts, but that doesn't necessarily make it a real animal. One of the most famous is in the case right here. This is what is most well known as the Fiji mermaid. It's going to be made using half of the fish and half of the monkey, and I guess that's how you make a mermaid. One of my favorite renditions of the Fiji mermaid is going to be this drop-dead gorgeous redhead in the case right here. That is Homer Tate's fish girl. She got her luscious locks from his wife, the teeth from a dead cat, and the leg from a mummified turtle. Now, speaking of mummies, all the mummies that you're going to see in this room were made by Homer Tate, but he also dabbled in the art of, you guessed it, shrunken heads. Now, that is not a real shrunken head, but it is made with real human hair, thus making it a gaff. But if y'all want to take a closer look at these two in the case right here, you will notice that those are 2 real human heads that were shrunk down by Homer Tate. Now, how do you shrink a shrunken head? You might be asking yourself, well, don't worry, I got a recipe for you. You can impress all of your friends. So, the first thing you're going to want to do is dig up a dead body. Then you're going to want to chop the head off, remove the skull, and then boil the rest of it down until you get something that looks a little bit like that. Now, I expect to see your examples next week. They will be graded. Just kidding. Please don't actually make a shrunken head. You will go straight to jail. Much like Homer Tate did, he made about 50 or 60 of them before finally being arrested, all the while being the town sheriff himself. This is the man, the myth, the legend, the late great Homer Tate. Once he was released from jail, he never made another piece ever again. Another fun fact about this room, all of the wood that you see on the walls here actually came from a real-life Savannah hoodoo house. It was occupied by Ophelia Baker, aka Madam Truth. She was a very powerful psychic and a well-respected individual in Savannah, Georgia. She passed away in 1977, and unfortunately her house also burned down. But luckily, we were able to get out there with the permission of the family before the house was demolished, and now we have a little tribute set up for Ophelia in our museum. We love Ophelia. We love all of our locals that are featured in the museum. We've got some really interesting ones up in the cult room, trust me.
Nice.
The last thing I'm going to leave y'all with is whenever we moved into this space, we actually stumbled upon a lot of false walls and a lot of rooms that were not on the blueprints. Some of the things that we found behind those walls were pretty friggin' interesting. One of them being this old 78 record, which is creatively titled Chanting, Speaking in Tongues, and Sermon. We did throw a Halloween party in the museum last year. If y'all have not been to a GRAVEFACE Halloween party, you gotta go this year. We always do some fun stuff. One thing that we did was we decided to play this record and have a little seance with everyone. Everyone had a great time except for me. Pardon my French, but it scared the hell out of me. We did decide to keep one of the false walls intact because what we found behind there was just too cool, and I don't think any of us wanted to touch it. But y'all are more than welcome to come and take a closer look behind door number 1.
Wow.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you want my phone's flash on or if you want to use yours.
That's good.
That back there is going to be a real hoodoo altar that we found behind the wall in the museum, or in the building that we call the museum now.
Thank you.
Now, whenever we found it, it was pretty much in shambles. It was in a big old pile, but the book totally gave it away. We got one of our friends in here that knew what they were doing with hoodoo. They set it back up for us, and the rest is history. We did also try contacting the city of Savannah just to be, hey, you know, someone left their things behind the wall here. And they had told us that no one had been in the building for over 100 years. Ooh. Which is clearly not true. Someone was definitely squatting and doing some hoodoo back there. But hoodoo's not really that scary. No human sacrifices or dogs and cats living together. Maybe a chicken. But who doesn't love a little bit of chicken every now and then? Other than that, that's really going to be it for this room. If you all have any questions for me, feel free to ask. My name is Roman. Chloe, the co-owner, is going to be upstairs in the Gacy room. Your tickets last 2 days. That's today and Thursday, the next day that we're open. Please come on by again. And your ticket also gets you into the free-to-play arcade down at the Starland District. Have fun.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Yeah, thanks so much.
No problem.
This is great.
Wheels ran over him and cut him in half. But he was very strong in the shoulders and the arms and hands because he walked naturally on his hands. And so my partner Chris trained a horror film monitor for him. 20 shows a day. Emmett Black Clover, we call him the Turtle Man. And Emmett was born with only stuff on his legs. And he is jumping actually not the wall. And oh my, there was a lady in the frog girl. And of course we always try to have a giant. Over the years we have the Northwood giant, John, can't think his name right off now. And he Robert was big some years until he died, the Texas giant. We had Doreen Reed, that was Bill Snowden, and he was our last black man, and he was billed as Harold Huge, and weighed 712 pounds. 2003, maybe 2004, I get my years mixed up, was when Harold Huge was still with us, and right before that, he retired in 98, 99, went to the tattoo lady, a bunch of warm trees, but she wasn't covered in head to toe, a beautiful tattoo, and she was the tattoo grandmother. And about tattoo ladies, over here, we had Victoria, Betty Rodman, Sally Sandy, she and her husband Sandy were over completely tattooed. They were with me last few years. But I will say that to have another 1986, that would have been dramatic because the people who were with me so long, and they stayed with me for years, most of them, a few of them retired, most of them lived in this paper called Billboard. It had coin machines, records, music, all of the theater shows, and all of this in one newspaper. And so if you wanted one, you could find it on any newsstand. Sure, there are a lot of them out there who would love to be in the business because they were all ham actors. They loved to perform, and they made good money. And some of them even became wealthy. And today, they are destitute, receiving a little SSI, Social Security. And anybody who will tell you that they can live well on Social Security certainly doesn't. And today, if there's freaks out there, they can't find out. And we don't see them so peaceful. Whereas it used to be, I can name names. Louis Cassian was still a Mickey Bird, and 5 years, and would go on and on. They came down from Italy. I saw the film, walked in and left for the rest of their life. And then, good old numbers I cannot let you collect that last line you say is very fast. Because what they heard was, will alive. People still want to see strange people. And believe me, we don't use satisfied. If there are to see this video, if you would like to see what the Sideshow is traveling the world and see what's in the world beside yourself, it's like we have you with the show. So please, look on the internet for the world of wonder, or call us through the Sideshow blog.
Please do not try it at home. You will go sick. We got away with it about 15 times before they being arrested. While being around terror.
doesn't have a ball, that may be why.
But I thought you meant lies in a shallow grave.
Yes, it's valuable that we talk about those issues because they are as important, I could say easily, if not more important, but all of these I don't know how to weigh which ones are more important. Negativity. Negativity. Listen to anything that could for this
Yeah.
isolated.
Yes. Yeah, I know that. I'm excited to see what that looks like here.
Yeah.
I bet it's like I could actually. At first, I was like, I don't know how that'll be, but I think it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. We have a couple friends in the industry, and they said they came here. I don't know
Oh,
if you.
cool. There were a couple on the casting crew.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple race workers.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're awesome. They're super sweet. Yeah, they were mentioning like almost everyone from the set's been like basically taking me.
So the whole process of overcoming testing, negativity is a major item we have to deal with. Negative thinking, listening to things that discourage you to the moodiness and what is your goodness, judge that you be not judged. I mean, if it is true that my Heavenly Father exists, and if He has appointed my older member as pull you down and discourage you because that happens again and again, your performance can be poor and your response, what you're doing is self-destructive to you and acknowledge what it was, and we get past it. Don't worry about it. Forget it. It's gone. It doesn't exist. Then we have to the step we talked about the other day, which is very hard to do. Drop it. We have to and you submit it, and you say, I want to go on. That's the same thing as asking for forgiveness. I want to go on.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, so it's basically, but yeah, so track 13 is the last hour.
If they solicited him, they said, would you please bring it up? I want to know. No good. You can't really help it. So it's very important, really, I could be completely off base. And when I see what the thought in the church, and every season does refer to it, to bring it out. And so she gets very much because I don't like to go down with the tension. And of course,
and just like a ton of stuff is kind of based on this guy. So if you've ever seen Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock's movie, Norman Bates is based on him. Same with Silence of the Lambs and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. All those kind of pull elements from this case.
I should sell these shoes. I would buy them. I'm studying to be a child psychologist, and I would buy, like with the writing on it, I would buy it. It's not like my colleagues would appreciate it, and the kids wouldn't know what it says. So.
Hey, there you go. I think that was a movie that Ronnie Kramer made. It was like supposed to be basically a play on. It was supposed to be satirical, but yeah, this guy was the movie director. But no, Casey wasn't. But yeah.
I feel like if you have that much hatred in your heart to kill people, you might be a bit more resistant That's what even if he never came out right and said it.
And there was even a killer match marking the spot where some new concrete had been poured.
It would be shocking to have a portrait of Charles Manson painted by John. It was a shock value,
Or maybe not because of the money.
Yeah. Oh no, it was absolutely money. This was literally all for money. Because I don't think he expected it to take off into like what it became. Because again, early on he's not paying theory, and that's where he's that's actually the
I mean, like for little kids.
It was this. It was a kid from the JCs. It was like a 17-year-old guy that he basically Chicago in the 70s, like when he started on that. Yeah, and get out if you don't want to go back through the whole thing. Yeah, the stairs and turn left. Yeah. Sister, she's super goth.
As callous and as cunning as he is, John Wayne Gacy talked about it.
The man who committed what may be the crime of the century. His name is John Wayne Gacy.
People don't want to know the truth and the honesty of it. If they want to be convinced or brainwashed into what they believe, then fine, then go ahead and kill me. But vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, because you will have executed somebody that didn't commit the crime.
The evidence seemed clear. Gacy went to death row. But tonight in News Extra, Channel 2 exclusive, John Gacy speaks out, claiming that he is a victim of circumstance.
If you want to charge me with anything, charge me with complicity in 2 of the murders.
Just two.
That's all I know about.
That's his story, that he didn't kill anyone. Just an account.
Don't look at me as an innocent babe in the woods.
Not for a second would I look at John Gacy as a babe in the woods. He may be admitting now only to being an accomplice. But 13 years ago, when he was arrested, he confessed to almost everything. You have all the bodies, Gacy said, and there was even a killer map showing where 27 youths were buried. And in fact, he led police to his garage for what he did. A look at the mind of a serial killer tomorrow.
Walter, thank you. Tonight on News Extra, a portrait of a killer.
Arrogance and cunning, and enough cleverness to kill many times without getting caught. John Gacy has all those traits, and then some. He was a Kentucky colonel. On the go for Democrats as Norwood Park committeeman. A visit with Rosalind Carter, the first lady during the Carter administration.
Gacy right here is hiding the fact that there are bodies buried under his house. He's the great deceiver.